What's up YouTube, Capital G here. Okay guys, today I'm going to talk about a new Synchro that has just been released in Japan. I know you're probably completely shocked, like, Synchro monsters, what are those? Konami still making those? Yeah, apparently they are. Now, HBIC Vexicus made a video about this earlier, and I'm on Duelist Grounds, and they're talking about it. I wanted to make sure that I got the right translation before I tried to make a video and gave you guys false information. I do believe that I have the correct translation. If for some reason I don't, please correct me. The Synchro is called Flashing Carat Dragon. If I mispronounce that, you will have to, be mindful that I'm not Japanese, so everything isn't, my pronunciation isn't, absolutely perfect on these things. It's a Wind Dragon Synchro monster, effect monster, obviously. Level 8, 2500 attack, 2000 defense. So, it sounds a lot like Stardust Dragon, right? It requires one tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters to make. The effect reads as follows. While this monster is face up on the field, its name is treated as Stardust Dragon. Once per turn during either player's turn, so it's a quick effect, target one face up card you control. Until the end phase, that card cannot be destroyed by card effects. So, this honestly feels like the other side of the coin of Stardust Dragon. Like, maybe Stardust Dragon is heads, and this card would be tails, but they're both in the same quarter, if that makes sense. Like, they both cover ground, but just in different ways. Like, all right, for one thing that you guys might notice, and you should notice instantly, is this does not protect face down cards from being destroyed. So, for instance, if your opponent uses Heavy Storm on you and you have this card face up on the field, and you have Deep Prison and Bottomless, you can't activate any types of effects that would protect your monsters like Stardust would. But another thing that you will realize, one positive about this card, unlike Stardust, is it doesn't have to be sent to the graveyard as a cost to activate its effect. So if this card attacks and your opponent uses something like Mirror Force, well, not only do you still keep board presence and you can just, the Mirror Force is negated and your attack will still go through, but you also don't have to worry about your opponent using DD Crow if they have Deep Fissure on the board, your Stardust not coming back, or, there are turns where maybe it's your opponent's turn, they activate Dark Hole targeting your Stardust Dragon, you activate its effect, and then they Monster Reborn it. So, you really won't have to fall into any of those, drawbacks that the original Stardust has with this new Flashing Carat Dragon. I do like the fact that, let's say, there are plenty of situations where this card can actually be better than Stardust, especially with Torrential Tribute at 2. Let's say that you have Flashing Carat Dragon on the field and you have Torrential Tribute set, that's it. Your opponent top decks a BLS, right? They summon it. Obviously, if you have regular Stardust, that thing's gonna die no matter how you, no matter how you look at the situation. Well, with Flashing Carat Dragon, you can activate that Torrential, and then you can chain Flashing Carat Dragon's effect to target itself, and it won't be destroyed. It's not like Stardust where, it would negate the Torrential, or you would end up losing your Stardust, and then the BLS would obviously die. So again, I don't think this card is any better than Stardust. I don't think this card is any worse than Stardust. I honestly look at them like, night and day or black and white. Like, they're both equal, just, they seem to have their own different uses. Like, this card, in my opinion, is better. It's a better standalone card because, if you summon it and your opponent uses something like a Bottomless or a Torrential, well, guess what? You still have field presence. You don't need to launch your monster to the graveyard. You can just attack and potentially win the game. Although, on the other side, you could look at it from the different side of the argument, and you can say, well, let's say my opponent uses Fiendish Chain on my Flashing Carat Dragon. Well, since it doesn't activate it doesn't activate and tribute as a cost, you won't be able to activate its effect anymore. So your opponent can just Dark Hole it then. With Stardust, obviously, since it's sent to the graveyard as a cost, its effect activates in the graveyard, and you would, even if it's under Fiendish Chain or Skill Drain. So this card would have a little bit of problems there. So again, I think that this card is no better or worse than Stardust Dragon. It's just, situationally, you're going to have to look at each card and realize which one is better. The whole face-up being Stardust on the field seems kind of irrelevant outside of summoning Assault Stardust Dragon. I can't really think of any other cards that are Stardust Dragon specific. So let me know what you guys think. I think the artwork is flat out amazing, but it'll be interesting to see how people might possibly use this card. I mean, I would probably run like one copy in Dragoonity, possibly. Like run one Stardust and one copy of this card. So thank you guys for watching as always.